Hey Fandom, it's me Aaron for a comic show. It is Wednesday, September 12th. Actually my birthday. I am 42 years old. It's pretty weird, huh? I know I don't look a day over 32, but whatever. Let's talk about comics. Fantastic Four #2 came out this week. I know a lot of people were pleased with Fantastic Four #1. There was a hole in Marvel of Fantastic Four for years not being published, and Dan Slott just nailed it with this one. The only slight complaint could have been that there really wasn't much of any of Reed and Sue in the first issue. It was almost all Johnny and Thing. Well, issue 2 is almost no Johnny and Thing, and you don't just get Reed and Sue, you get the entire Future Foundation, and you get this new villain that is pretty spectacular, and I really enjoyed it. If you liked issue 1, you owe it to yourself to get issue 2 for real. It is even better than 1. He's off to a great start. Dan Slott's going to kill it on Fantastic Four if these first 2 issues are any indication about his run. Speaking of someone killing it on a run, the guy that replaced Dan Slott, Nick Spencer, issue 5 Amazing Spider-Man, he separated Peter and Spider-Man and basically showed them what they hate about each other and what they like about each other and how they need each other, Peter and Spider-Man. And Mary Jane's there seeing the whole thing, and it was very touching and funny. And they made probably my favorite joke in a Spider-Man book in this issue, Nick Spencer did. Yes, Dan Slott, very funny man, had so many funny jokes to Spider-Man. There was a joke in here that Spider-Man made that he couldn't have made unless he was separated from Peter, and it was hilarious, and there's no way I'm going to ruin it. Going for things that are absolutely the opposite of a joke, Champions 24, you never think it'll happen to you. We interrupt this regularly scheduled program to bring you the following special bulletin, like, you know, one of those things when the news is interrupted. It's a school shooting at Miles Morales' school. And while that is topical and why that might, you know, get controversy and piss some people off and this, that, and the other, there is an important moment in here that really can only happen with a superhero. And it also helps with Miles' origin now having something that sort of is missing. Like, yeah, he was always 616 now with this new continuity after Secret Wars. And yeah, he still remembers the old stuff, so he still remembers. The thing I liked most about the Ultimate Universe Miles Morales is Peter Parker died, and Miles became Spider-Man, and Miles didn't intervene in the last fight when Peter Parker died when he could have. So essentially, Peter Parker became his Uncle Ben. He became his great power, great responsibility. So with this issue, there might be a new motivational thing with Miles like that. So that's cool. So, you know, there's probably going to be a lot of controversy about it. I don't see that it really did anything political other than topical. But, you know, other people have probably bigger agendas and bigger axes to grind than I have. I just want to be entertained. Give me bread and circuses. So I enjoyed it. And I am thinking more of the ramifications it's going to have for the character. Infinity Wars 3, more insanity, the warps, the Infinity Warps universe, where Thanos killed half the universe. Spoiler. I mean, it happened in the 90s in the comics, but snaps his fingers, half the universe gone. Gamora is not her father, and she's not going to destroy half the universe, but the universe might have too many people in it. I mean, let's be real. So she folds it in half and basically smashes 2 characters together of all the characters. So you have the Iraq Knight, Moon Knight, and Spider-Man together, and the Soldier Supreme of Doctor Strange and Steve Rogers together, and stuff like that. So that's fun, and that's what that issue was. And Iceman, new #1, same creative team. Why? Why did it get canceled and then be brought back with the same creative team? Plenty of speculation, blah, blah, blah. The simple truth is it sold better in collections and at the book market than it did in single issues by far. And the sales of the 2nd volume of the book was so great that Marvel's like, hey, you want to do some more? We could use another volume. So if you were a fan, you're going to get more of exactly what you wanted. And if you weren't a fan, oh well, don't begrudge other people their good time. Moving on. Star Wars Darth Vader Volume 3 is out. This is Soul's run. Great stuff. And edging out Boba Fett lately since Alliance's Thrawn, Mathron Yoroto, my favorite Star Wars character. This is the adaptation of the first book by Timothy Zahn in comic book form. The second volume is not out yet. I loved it. I just can't get enough Thrawn. Like, Thrawn's my buddy. The dude is so smart. I mean, I would just be like his little Eli next to him, but whatever. If you like Thrawn, you know what I'm talking about, and you should check it out. And, you know, why not read the comic? I read the book first because it came out first, read the comic. It's nice to see images of, you know, I had in my mind what some of these characters look like that were never on movies or TV shows or anything. And then I see what they were really supposed to look like. So that was cool. Moving on to Image, Oblivion Song Volume 1 is out, 6 issues. It's $9.99. It's Robert Kirkman from Walking Dead and from Invincible. The art's brilliant. Issue 7's out the same day. And here at a comic shop, I haven't made the sign yet, but if you were waiting for the trade waiter, whatever, cool. That's cool. You can get it for $10, and I'm going to give you number 7 for free. And then you might buy 8 because I might have broken you of the trade weight habit. But that's what I will do. And I love that Kirkman and Skybound got these out the same day so that I can do my zany shenanigans like that. The story is pretty crazy. Part of Philadelphia gets sucked into a different dimension with a bunch of monster horror thingies that aren't zombies. They aren't zombies. And there's one guy that is jumping into that dimension and saving the people and bringing them back that got sucked into that alternate dimension. And then we have why and what is he really doing and how did it happen? And all that is answered in, well, it's answered in 6 of that, and it's all explained in 7. He's not holding anything back. Kirkman is swinging for the fences here. Huge reveal the end of this volume, huge answers this issue. Do it. Cemetery Beach, new Warren Ellis book. And I know the first thing I say when that is like, oh, new Warren Ellis book, that guy takes forever to get anything out. When's he going to finish this volume of this or that or, you know, whatever, Injection, Trees, you name it. I will say he's been on point and on time for The Wildstorm, but how would he be on a creator-owned book? I mean, that's DC's editors. Well, let me show you here. Obviously, I have answers to my rhetorical questions. September 12th, issue 1. October 17th, November 14th, December 12th, January, all the way through March 13th. He is drawing a line in the sand saying, I'm going to get these 7 issues out on these frickin' dates, monthly. Shut the hell up and enjoy my brilliance. I am Warren Ellis. So you don't even need to know about the book other than it's a return to his greatness of his wheelhouse of sci-fi dystopian future. Really dirty future. There's organ processing. There's all kinds of nonsense that, you know, scary shit about the future. But it's Warren Ellis, whom you've probably liked, like me, since Transmetropolitan with his next big thing, and he is promising you he's not going to be a big slacker again. So there's that. Moth and Whisper, number 1 by Aftershock. It's Ted Anderson writing it. I looked him up. He's done Adventure Time and stuff like that, My Little Pony. Well, what this is, it's a crime book. Moth and Whisper are the 2 greatest criminals of the world. One is disguise. The other is disappearance, is, you know, not being seen. And it's not a story about them. They're missing. It's a story about their offspring. And yes, they are non-binary. The main character is non-binary. But that's not really anything dwelt upon in the first issue. And it's kind of cool because being a thief, spy, disguise, changing, no one actually sees you, there's a lot of metaphor to work out with that. So I really liked the first issue. I enjoyed the art. Flip through it. If it looks good to you, try it. And probably my biggest shocker of the week is The Wrong Earth. This book I loved. Tom Payer is writing it. He did the android Hourman way back early 2000s, late 90s maybe. Loved that book, loved his work. Now he's doing this super weird thing for Ahoy Comics. Exercise, $4. You see, it's kind of like Batman and Robin. It's Dragonfly Man and Stinger. This is the Silver Age version, which is all wholesome. This is a more Dark Knight Returns version, and it's playing off of comics being completely sunny and fun, and you can trust the cops love you, to being Frank Miller-esque, completely dirty, corrupt cops, everyone's out to kill you, dead kids, all that stuff, and playing that off where there's a mirror that they walk through and get stuck on the wrong Earth. And us being comic fans that know all these things and know the debates that are had between what's better, Batman 66 with the Biff Bang Pow or Batman Dark Knight Returns. This is what you get with this issue, and it was highly enjoyable, and Jamal Ingle is on art. No slouch there. Love Jamal Ingle's art. He did Black, that was kickstarted. He used to do Superman, Supergirl, great stuff. Mystery Science Theater 3000, the comic. It's super weird, you guys. You get this stuff with the characters, and then they go into public domain comic books and riff off of that. If you are a big fan of Mystery Science Theater, you'll like it. If you're not, don't buy it. It's not for you. But I enjoyed it. And then finally, for the non-DC stuff, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Volume 6, this brings you right up to Shattered Grid, right through issue 24. So if you're waiting for that, it's here now. Moving on, there's a few DC books. Supergirl, I am loving this book. It's Andreyko, it's Kevin McGuire in art, one of my favorite artists of all time, who did Beetle, Booster, and JLI. And Supergirl is trying to find out, did this Rogaine Zoloff or Rogal Zar, did he destroy Krypton? Or was it natural causes? He's claiming he did. And if he did, how did he do that with the Green Lanterns, with the Guardians? Why did the Guardians let that happen? And she's trying to figure out what it is. And she has his axe, and Green Lantern Hal Jordan's ring says, oh, well, let me identify this. Oh, redacted. So she goes to Oa, to Mogo, to get some answers. And she's not taking no for an answer, and I love it. I love it. I've always wanted more on the Guardians, the Green Lanterns, the sector of space that included Krypton, and why that happened. I know it's been answered here and there, little bits and pieces, but I want more. I want the real story, and this is giving it to us. And also, speaking of Blue Beetle, Ted Kord, that I mentioned, he's in this issue. Seriously, I was in love. That's all you really need to know. There's the Phantom Zone, Earth's in the Phantom Zone, Superman's there, and he needs Ted Kord Blue Beetle for help. Among others, yes, there's a lot of other scientists, but Ted Kord Blue Beetle. And then Hawkman, need to mention this book. It's super solid. I love it. If you ever loved any incarnation of Hawkman, you will love it. This has our modern Hawkman with the Hawkworld Hawkman, and also the guest star that everyone wants when it's Hawkman, which he's on the cover of the next issue. It's the Atom, Hawkman's little pal. Cool beans. That's fun, solid book. Catwoman 3's out. Look at this cover. I don't even have to say anything. People are buying this just for the cover. And then finally, Sandman Universe, the second title's out, House of Whispers. It has absolutely nothing to do with the Sandman Universe whatsoever until the last 2 pages, and then it has everything to do with the Sandman Universe. So trust me, if you are interested in the premise at all from the pages of that Sandman Universe one-shot, and you're wondering, how is this going to tie into any of this stuff? It seems like an interesting concept, perhaps, but how's it going to tie in? That's what I was thinking the whole time I was reading this book, other than, you know, enjoying it for what it is at face value. And then the last 2 pages, boom, pow, should have seen it coming, it's there. So if you're interested in the Sandman Universe, it's an integral part because of the last 2 pages of this issue. So if you weren't going to buy it, just look at those and be like, huh, maybe I will get this. And that's the week that was. Next week is Batman Damned. Can't wait for that. And then we're getting Heroes in Crisis, #1, September 26th, 6 to 8, signing with Clayman, the artist of the issue. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.